Hi there! In this video, I want to walk through the Steinbeck Reading Log for those of you who are having difficulty understanding how to complete this. This is the same log that you're going to use for all 3 sessions as you read your Steinbeck book. So take it seriously, do a good job on it. This is where we document what you're thinking and how you're processing your text. So just to begin, make sure that you have your name and the book name up here. This helps me to understand the context for the comments that you're making, what story this came from. So don't forget that, please. But basically, you're looking at 3 different parts. The first part is learning vocabulary. The second part is using reading strategies. And the third part is summarizing with a question answer. And the points are listed for those here. So in the first part, you're going to pick 2 vocabulary words. That would be 6 points apiece. You're going to give me the dictionary definition, your own words. Different forms of the words, so like happy, happily, happiness. They're different grammar forms. And then if there's a way that the grammar form changes the word, changes the meaning, add that here under reflection. So for example, when we look at analysis, that's a noun, and we think of the end product. Whereas analyze, the action, is really an ongoing, uncompleted piece. So even though the grammar is different, they're the same root word, you do have a slightly different meaning because of the form. And then the last thing is finding a picture or an image that reminds you of the word, because our brains sometimes think in images more than they think in words. Different people, different ways of learning. So space here you can definitely add in from this template. Just scroll to, add some lines here as needed. But those are the 6 components for the 2 words, 12 points total. The second part is really documenting how you are using reading strategies. Because more than teaching a particular book, my job is to teach you to be a good reader. And good readers are doing a lot of active thinking as they read. They think before they read, they think while they read, and they think after they read. And this is really designed to keep your brain from wandering off so that you don't even remember what you've just read. Well, if you keep your brain engaged, you're going to understand more, you're going to remember more, you're probably going to enjoy it more. So in the before section, you're going to do this before you read your text, before you read that 1/3. So this will be the first thing you do during the week. You're going to write what you anticipate will happen in that section. This is prediction. That's a solid reading strategy. What questions you want to have answered. This is using focus to help you pay attention to your book. What do you want to have answered? Then once you have that question, you read to answer it and your brain won't go to sleep. And then the third question is, what's your purpose? Why are you reading this? So you're going to write your answers to those 3 questions here before you read your book. Down here during the during section, this is your thinking as you're reading. And I've given you some sentence starters, and you're going to finish these sentences. You're going to choose 5 of them. Finish those sentences with information from your book. So, for example, is, I wonder why George won't let Lenny talk when they go to meet the new boss. Or, this is similar to the movie, blah, 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 blah. Or, what I find confusing is why Steinbeck alternates every other chapter in Grapes of Wrath with stories about the people that aren't in the story. Those are, by the way, called intercalary chapters. It's kind of a neat technique he's used. So you're going to finish 5 sentences while you're reading to keep your brain awake, to keep you active and engaged in understanding. Then lastly, we've got the after reading section. When you are done with that 1/3 of your reading, you're going to go back and review it in your mind. That's the summarizing. That's what helps it stick in your brain. So again, you're going to pick 5 of these sentence starters. The sentence starters will force you to go back and review the content. 3 important points in this section are, well, you have to think back on what you read and explain what those 3 ideas are in your sentences here. Or what comes next is some catastrophe with George and Lenny. Or I still don't understand why the doctor wouldn't treat the baby who's been stung by the scorpion. That type of thing. So you'll finish those off with 5 sentence starters here. And then lastly, at the very end, 3 questions and your answers to those questions that could only be answered if you'd read the book. So think of it as you're writing the quiz for yourself or the test for yourself. What questions would you ask about this reading? And just so you know, sometimes I do use student questions when I make up a quiz. So take that into account. So 3 questions and your answers about the content that you read. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of what to do with this. Let me know if you have further questions, and I'll clarify then. Thanks.